So, what's love got to do with it? Let's face it. The story we'll hear as we draw nearer to Christmas is not all twinkling lights and an abundance of gifts under the tree. Right? Mary and Joseph are far from home. Despite heading to Joseph's town of origins of his ancestors to be counted for the registration, the census, they are a couple confronted with an unexpected pregnancy. They are refugees on the run. There are shepherds in the story, deemed a lower class in that culture, terrified by what they witness in the skies, fear and trembling in their hearts. There are angels attempting to soothe fears, calm concerns, convinced that this is good news. There are magi, wise ones who know all sorts of things about the stars, who must navigate crossing borders, interacting with King Herod and protecting a child they have traveled far to see. Despite a royal birth of sorts, this birth was not announced via Twitter, nor surrounded by security protocol, other than parents and three wise ones, all designated protectors by a dream. The baby was born under a death threat. There would be merciless killing of children in this story. And that's just the beginning of the Christian story. So, what's love got to do with it? Despite centuries of this story becoming sanitized and wrapped in more tidy a package, I don't know about you, but we still yearn to listen to it as we near the turning of another year. These Christmas stories are part of the traditions of this place, part of the traditions of many places from which we come. Many among us still love this story, if only because nostalgia may grip us and won't let us go. I love this story. And here's where I'm at with it. I'm less interested in the actual facts of the story and more interested in the meaning of the stories that teach us how to love the world. I'm less interested in the particulars of exactly what happened and more interested in the historical context in which these stories were birthed. I'm less interested in how this story fits into the mainstream and more interested in how it is subversive, even countercultural. And I am much less interested in the glorification of the violence that brackets Jesus' birth and death, and more interested in how such a life might point to a nonviolent path. I'm less interested in how this story is unique and more interested in how this story connects to the ordinary. I'm less interested in truth, capital T, of the stories and more interested in imagining how each of us might imagine ourselves in such stories. In the midst of injustice, poverty, a census, a wild star of a sign, peculiar visitors, and the threat of violence, a story of undying love that might still hold our attention. So, what's love got to do with it? What new thing really is there to say about love? A lot of people write about love, talk about love. A lot of people sing about love. which also means that a lot of us read a lot about love and listen a lot to people who sing about love. So thinking that clergy and churches are in the business of faith, hope, and love, as we are here, I decided to survey my bookshelves this week, curious how many books on the shelves had the word love in the title. As I started to pull the first few that I saw on the shelves, I soon realized my shelves might be near empty by the time I was done. Slight exaggeration. Right, there's Bell Hooks, the critical theorist, her book All About Love. There's Luce Irigary's I Love to You. There's Elizabeth Gilbert's widely popular Eat, Pray, Love. There's Reinhold Niebuhr's, who wrote the Serenity Prayer, his collection of writings in love and justice. There's Rob Bell's Love Wins. Then there's the books on perfect love, imperfect relationships, undefended love, receiving love. You get the picture. When I checked my digital music library and put love in the search field, try this at home, right? And I have a lot of songs on my laptop. There were 403 songs with love in the title. And not just in the top 40 pop category, but spanning over 32 genres, from the blues to gospel to reggae to rock. A lot of people write about love. A lot of people read about love. A lot of people sing about love. What more is there to say about love? And who among us doesn't have something heartbreaking and or wise to say about love? Some will say that love is overrated. Some will say love isn't enough to keep a relationship, a marriage going. Online dating sites will use algorithms to match individuals on categories that will surely add up to love. Countless experts on love will let you know how to keep a relationship alive with love. Some will explain it in terms of physiology, others in terms of psychology. And then there's what the theologians all have to say about love. I had a colleague that rewrote 1 Corinthians 13. Remember 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind? He was like, that's so not true. And so he rewrote it. Just rewrote it. It's like my first month on the job, and he's like, read this. Love is very fragile. It's quickly negated through thoughtless behavior. It comes with conditions, jealous ravings, irrational demands. Love can guarantee a great deal of patience and tolerance, but these can run out, and the love you once had can turn to hate. The remix version of 1 Corinthians 13. Some write about love, some read about love, some sing about love, some long for love, some buy love, some ridicule and abandon love. Some will say love is overrated, and some will say it is underrated. Some will say our deepest human need is to love and be loved. The experts that I rely on to describe love are children and elders. I keep a file called Love. And I pull it up for readings for weddings. And my favorite is a handwritten page that my then 11-year-old niece wrote when she was quite young. We were on a long car ride home from a family trip. I'd shared some stories from a book that gave human characteristics to human qualities like trust, hope, and wisdom. In that book, there wasn't an entry on love, and my 11-year-old niece noticed that. So she got to work, and from the back seat, she reaches towards the passenger seat and hands me a page of her journal. She winks one eye and tells me to read what she wrote. Just a few of those words. Love is the daughter of trust. Love understands but does not know everything. She can take any shape. When you truly get to know her, love is beautiful and kind. When I visited her, she said to me, "Let people in when they knock." Love loves visitors. My niece. When I asked character school children last Sunday what love sounded like, what love tasted like, looked like, felt like, among many wise observations, they shared that love sounded like a heart beating. That love looked like kind eyes. That love tasted like ice cream. And felt like a soft touch or a hug. When I asked if love was an outside or an inside feeling, they voiced a resounding both.